In this video, I'm going to introduce some looping capabilities in Tracktion. Now you can use loop libraries either as individual clips, or you can actually loop those clips and roll them out over many measures in order to really make it quick to create new songs. So I'm going to give you some ideas about how to do that, and then show you also a little bit about how you can use multi-track loops as we get to the end of this video. So to get started, I've navigated to one of my loop sets. This is from Total Control Audio, and it's a loop set called TCA Dynamic. And you can see that it's 112 beats per minute. Also, if I click on any of the loops in here, you'll hear them, and you'll also be able to see down here that they're approximately 112 beats per minute. So I'm just going to pick one here. So that's a good solid verse sound that you could use for songwriting or to play or jam against. So that sounds pretty good, but the tempo doesn't quite match. So I'm going to change the tempo of my edit to match that 112. So I click over here where it says 120, and then in the beats per minute here, I'll just type in 112. And now you can see that the edit quickly changed to 112. So I'm just going to drag this over. You'll see the shadow of the clip, and then just drop it right in. And now at this point, I should be able to play it. First, I'm going to set the out point to match the end. You can see that it's covering 4 bars, and I've got the loop set to on. The keyboard shortcut to turn the loop on and off is L. And this will just loop the playback. Now, if I just wanted to play this over and over and over throughout my entire song, all I need to do is hit L right here, and this will convert it into a looped clip. And what that means is it repeats. So as soon as I hit that, it's now repeating it twice. If I grab the trim tool on this end and pull it, you can see those white lines every time it repeats. So just by pulling it out, I can roll this clip out over any number of measures that I want, and then I quickly paint in all the different cycles of this that I want. So now I've already painted in 36 bars of this loop. Now if I want to undo that, all I need to do is hit L again, and it turns the looping mode on, and we're back to a single clip. Now the nice thing about that is it doesn't take up any additional space in your project when you do that looping. It's really only using that original clip. Now we have the ability to go in and use any of the editing tools as well. So we can go in if we don't want to have a drum fill coming along every time we go through the cycle, then we can actually take that drum fill out. So if I go in here and isolate it, I'm just going to cut this in half right here. So we'll go to bar 3 with the cursor and use the /, and then I'm going to just throw away the second half of it, and then we'll loop just the first half of it. So now we've got a 2-bar loop that we can pull out over the song. We'll do 8 bars of that. I'll hit A to set the in and out markers around the selection and play that back. And you'll hear in this case it sounded completely natural around that loop. So the next thing we might want to do is bring in something to use for a chorus. So we can just grab one of the chorus sections. We'll just take chorus A, put it on. I'll turn looped playback off and then play across that from our original loop into the chorus. And if we want to loop the chorus, we just hit L, and then we can have a couple cycles of that chorus. We could then copy the original verse into a second verse by holding down Command as we drag. That would be Control on the PC. And you'll see that I've now got a copy of that looped section. And if you just want something inspiring to play against, then just take 1 or 2 measures and then loop them, drag them out across the entire song, and you've got something a little more inspiring than a click to play against. So I'm going to select these and delete those. Another way to work with loops is to just duplicate them. So if we take this verse, so if we wanted to just duplicate it, we can also do that. So this is another way to work. We can trim this back to 2 bars and then just hit D. And you can just repeatedly hit D and it will keep duplicating that. So a really kind of a cool trick, now that we've done this, we've got 2 bars of our main beat, but hidden is the 2 bars that lead into the fill. Well, we can expose those 2 bars anywhere we want to place a fill using slip editing. And the way we do that is just click here and then use the slip edit tool like this, where you can drag back and forth. And I'm going to turn snapping off for a second so you can see this more smoothly. Let me just zoom in. And you can see I can drag back to expose the fill. So if I want to fill right here, I can just drag this all the way back, and there's the fill. So that's kind of a cool trick because of the non-destructive editing nature of Traction. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and we'll select all, delete all those clips. Now I want to show you another thing about working with loops. If you do a multiple selection, say you want verse 1 and you want this chorus. If I hold down Command and then select the other things I want, I'll take interlude, the bridge, and then go down here and take the ending. So I want all of these loops and I want to put them all on one track. So I do the multiple selection by holding down Command or Control with each additional click. And then when I drag them to the track, they wind up automatically going on here end to end. And they're just snapped in end to end. Now you could either use them that way or you could rearrange them from there. But it's a quick way to get all of the different things that you've collected onto one track and get going. And you can see that I can immediately play. There's the ending of my song. Now, what if you didn't want them all on one track? So I'm going to go into a multi-track set here. So if we go to multi-track, we'll do the chorus part here. This is an example of a multi-track drum loop. There's actually 11 different drum mics that make this up. So I'm going to add some tracks. Now, if you want to add a lot of tracks at once, we've already got 2 of them in here. Go down to the Tracks menu item and then do Create Several New Tracks, and we'll put in, say, 12 tracks. So then I hit F6 to fit those all on the screen. Now I'm going to select all of these. You can use a Shift Select to do that. And now as I drag them over, I'm going to hold down Command. That would be Control on a PC. And drop them on bar 1. Now the thing is if I hold down Command or Control, then it asks me, do I want to drop them on one track or to separate tracks? I'm going to say separate tracks. And you can see it now I've got all of these in parallel. So I've got all of my individual drum microphones for this multi-track set. If I go up and grab, that was the chorus, if I go up and grab, say, a bridge, then I can do the same thing. I can quickly construct a multi-track song. I want to position this right here, hold down Command as I let go, and then put these on separate tracks. There's a lot more you can do with loops and loop libraries in Traction, but that's an introduction to give you some ideas of some ways that you can get started with loops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.